Hello gardeners, Camille here at Chenard's Nursery, and today I'd like to talk to you about seed starting. It's a cold day in January, so it's too cold to plant outside in your garden plot, but you can get your seeds started indoors and give them a jump start before they're ready to plant. So a couple things you can plant. If you'll notice our chart here, cabbage, peas, and onions are good to start now. They're going to be ready to pop out into the garden in about 4 to 8 weeks, and they are cold hardy, so you can kick them out. February, we've got a couple things that you can start planting indoors, March and April, and we're going to post this at the end of the video as well, so check in the description and you will see this, this list. If you don't see the seed that you want to start on this here, usually if you take a look at your seed packet, you flip it over, you can see when to plant indoors and when to plant outdoors. So the information you need is going to be on the back of the seed packet as well. And it'll also tell you how many days it's going to take to get the seed from seed to the point where it's actually going to be fruiting. So you've got a couple of seed options. You've got some time frames in mind. What is the actual seed starting setup that you're going to want? This is largely a personal preference thing. There's a lot of different things out there you can use. I've got my personal setup here, and I'll talk about that a little bit afterwards. But I'm just going to start with the tray and then work my way up and just give you a couple different options so that you can get started on your seed journey with the setup that you'd like. So absolutely necessary, you're going to need your bottom tray here. This is the foundation for any seeds you're going to be putting in here. You're not necessarily going to plant the seeds in this tray. This is going to be the tray where you're going to pour some water in, and they're going to be able to uptake water from the bottom and soak it up through their pot so that you don't get any soil compaction from watering over the top of the plants. A couple things that fit in this neat little tray. You can use a plug set here. It has 72 holes. So if you're planting in bulk, this may be the way to go. The thing about the plugs is they are pretty small, so you're probably going to need to repot these before you kick them outside. So just keep that in mind if you're going this route. My favorite way of seed starting indoors is to use these tray packs here. They are perforated so you can separate them as well. They have 48 holes, so you can start a fairly good sized garden here. And each hole is large enough that you're probably not going to have to repot before you kick them outside. Lights are optional. A good south-facing window should be all that you need to get your seeds started, but if you want them to start a little bit faster, you want to give them a little kickstart, lights are definitely an option. We've got a grow light down here. We also have this grow light here, which is LED. You can go a couple different routes there. As long as it's a full spectrum light, that's going to be what you're needing. Another thing that is an option, not 100% necessary, but always a good thing to keep in mind, your seedling heat mats can help as well. And what these are going to do is they're going to sit at the bottom of your tray. Make sure you put it on a towel because you're going to get some water down there and it's going to be a mess if you don't have a towel below. But this has a little node connected to it, and that's going to sense your temperature. It's going to pop the temperature up about 10 degrees above your ambient temperature, and that's going to really help your seeds grow. Seeds are going to be growing a little bit easier at 75 degrees than they are at 50 degrees. So heat mats are an option if you've got a cold house. Also, I really want to stress that it is incredibly important to label all of your seeds. If you do nice, neat rows and you have one particular plant all along the row, you can just label one of them. You don't have to label each individual. But make sure you keep in mind which seed is which plant, because when they just have seed leaves, it's almost impossible to tell even a corn plant from a tomato plant. As far as soil mixture, I'd recommend a general seed starting mix. So I've got the GB organic mix right here. It's going to be nice and light and fluffy. It's going to allow your plants to have a little bit more water, and it's just going to give them a head start. So as far as actually planting, inside your little inserts here, just take one off. You would fill this up with your seed starting mix, and don't pat it down to compact the soil. You want the seeds to have as much light, fluffy soil as possible for their delicate new roots to grow. So just kind of shake this a little bit, and that'll kind of settle your soil. take a pencil, your fingertip, something small, and just kind of make a little hole in each one. And usually your seed pack is going to recommend 2 to 3 seeds. Plant 2 to 3 seeds in each of these, water from the bottom, and let them set. As you can see here, I'm going to take the light off. These seeds have been going for a little over a week now. They've still got all of their little seed leaves, kind of inconspicuous here, but in a couple of these you're going to be able to tell that the brand new leaves are going to be real leaves, and they're going to turn into, again, label, arugula rocket. And once you have your true leaves popping up, your seed leaves have done their job, your seeds are running out of the energy they had stored inside them to create the new plant, it's just about time to start fertilizing. So what you're going to want to do as far as fertilizer is get a nice liquid fertilizer, all-purpose, and then cut it into half strength for what it says on the bottle, and fertilize about once a week, and you're going to see excellent results. All right, and I think that's just about all I have for you today. So thank you again, and happy planting.